to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about some survival hacks for mammies. So I'm going to give you my top 5 survival tips for motherhood. I've spoken before about how I feel that sometimes we expect too much of ourselves as moms and it can be very overwhelming. So here is my take on how to survive that. So number 1 is breastfeeding. Breastfeeding for me is my number 1 go-to parenting tool for so many different reasons. From a newborn and then through a lot of different stages in the first years of life until through toddlerhood and then until the weaning. Now, I found that in the newborn stage, especially as a first-time mom, it can be really it's hard to know what your baby needs, and sometimes you don't know really, so often just offering the breast can be just the easiest thing. And for me, breastfeeding just is such a huge part of mothering. It's a very, very useful mothering and parenting tool. So I'm going to read something from an author that I really respect. His name is Grantley Dick Reed, and he wrote a book about childbirth called Childbirth Without Fear. I've spoken about it before in a different vlog, should I say, but it's about breastfeeding, and I think it just really resonates with me. So I'm going to read it and see what you think. A newborn baby has only 3 demands. They are warmth in the arms of its mother, food from her breasts, and security in the knowledge of her presence. Breastfeeding satisfies all 3. So if you just think about that, it really makes sense that babies are hardwired to breastfeed, and it makes life easier once you've overcome any difficulties that hopefully you won't have, but is often the case. It does make life a lot easier. I kind of found that as my babies grew and their needs changed, breastfeeding was always a kind of a way to reconnect when they're learning new things, and even for toddlers when they're going through overwhelming emotional development and things like that, it's just a lovely way to calm down and for everyone just to reconnect. So yeah, for a toddler, I find because I'm still nursing my 2-year-old, obviously, that if they get hurt or if they're going through an emotional tantrum or something like that, just breastfeeding is a great way to reconnect and calm everybody down. On that note.
Boat.
Your boat? This side.
My boat.
That's your boat. Number 2, baby wearing. I've found that using slings to wear your baby and keep them close to you to be so useful during motherhood. So on my first baby, I was loaned some slings, and it was great because I got to kind of introduced into the world of baby wearing. And then once I researched it a little bit more and went to some sling meets, I realized what was the best type for me, and I bought a sling called a Kinder Pack. I basically lived in that sling. It was a zebra sling, and it's absolutely wrecked now because I used it for both my babies, and a friend of mine used it for hers as well for about 1.5 to 2 years, each of them. It's just such a lovely way. No, you can't play with that, love. The other side. On the side. Here. So why it is the second most important survival tool for parenting for me, because with my first baby, it meant I could get up and make a cup of tea knowing that she was still fine. She was still in my arms, but I had my hands free, just for one example. And then with my second, it really, using things really came onto itself, because it really became way more important, because I had to tend to both the needs of a newborn and my toddler, and it meant that I could make sure he was fine, he was close, all his needs were attended to, but I could also be with her. So I found that really reassuring. And also my second baby fed a lot, breastfed in the sling. he learned how to do that at a very early age, and I suppose I was more comfortable with slings. I had lots of different types at that point, from stretchies to wovens to Mai Tais, you know, and in a way it was a really nice thing to buy for myself, maybe when a lot of clothes don't fit and stuff like that. I actually bought this little guy a beautiful Mai Tai when I was going to the Oras Nuthron for the Latching On event, and it was just a nice, you know, something nice to buy for myself for that. Anyway, now I still even use a sling with my 2-year-old. If we're out for a walk in the forest or whatever, and if he's a little bit tired, just throw him up my back, and it's just so handy. And he loves it, and he'll still feed in it as well, which is just fantastic. Number 3, outdoors. I'm a firm believer that we as human beings just need fresh air and we need nature, especially children. I feel that it's such an important thing for us all. It's just a way to kind of let everything blow away and just to be in the present moment. And I feel that a lot of what we have around us are distractions to take us away from the present moment, whereas being in nature is the complete opposite. So, from what?
You moment.
I'm a woman.
You moment.
I'm a moment. You're a moment as well. We're all in a moment in time.
No.
So, yeah, like, be it on your own, which is quite unlikely, but with a buggy, a sling, if possible in nature. And when we lived in the city, that was more difficult. Now I just open the doors and we're in the garden, and the kids play with sticks and stones and on the swings or in the sand pit, or just running down the garden, finding random things and looking at worms and beetles, and it's just tonic for the soul. Yeah, that's what it is. Number 4, music. Music for me just changes the mood and can really lighten and make things so much fun. Often, you know, if it's the afternoon lull and I'm just kind of like tired after lunch, and I just put on some music and the kids can play or dance or sing along, and so can I, and we all get exercise, and yeah, it's a really, really fun way to connect and just to chill. So we're big lovers of the John Kelly show on Lyric FM from 2 to 4 p.m. We love that. It's just a really nice kind of chill out, and we often listen to it in the car. But yeah, just music from even babies, like they love music. They can just change, just like being outside, you know, it's just a nice change, and it's definitely something that I think of, okay, I need something now. I need to find some tool somewhere, and music is often just a great thing to do. Number 5, connect. I've spoken about this before in the pregnancy hacks, but I am such a firm believer that we need connections, interactions, and human face-to-face connections with people. So as a mother, especially if you're like on maternity leave as a first-time mom, or even if you're a stay-at-home mom like me, it's really important, because you don't get that connection like you would in a workplace. I found it really hard going from meeting a couple of hundred people every day when I was teaching to just being alone with my baby. It's actually, I don't think it's healthy in a way, because we need that connection. We need the interaction and the kind of physical, you know, being with other people. So I went to lots of different breastfeeding groups, sling meets, toddler groups, you know, and there are like mom and baby yoga, massage, lots of different things to do. And if you research it, so I think it's, get out there and do it, because those connections you make can be, you know, for life. I've made so many friends through becoming a mom that are really, really strong friendships and that are really important to me. And I think because it's such an intense, overwhelming time, when you share that with someone, it's almost like you're going to stay close to that person longer, I feel, and you have so much in common. So yeah, I really feel that connecting and networking is very, very, very important as a mother and for survival and for your mental and emotional health. Also, online connections can be great and can be huge support. I wouldn't underestimate that either.
No,
But
me poo-poo.
pardon?
Me poo-poo.
You did a poo-poo? Okay, I'll change your nappy now. So they're my top 5 survival hacks for moms. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it anyway. And if you're interested in hearing more from me, please click subscribe below. I would love if you'd do that. And thank you so much for watching.